What's up, dudes? Snake, and welcome back to the Minecraft video. Today's mod we're going over is called the Advanced Rocketry Mod. And as this mod states, it allows you to build your own rockets and travel to different planets, as well as build your own space stations. Now, the first thing you're going to want to do is build a holo projector. This will make your life a lot easier, as it allows you to create holographic images of the multi-block machines. Now, there are a lot of multi-block machines, and I won't be going over all of them, but I will be going over most of them. So the first one we're going to do is, this really isn't a multi-block machine, but it is pretty essential to the mod, so we're going to go over it anyways. It's called the small plate presser. And to create it, you're going to need a piston and 3 iron. Now this might look like a piston, but it's actually not a piston. And what you're going to do is get any sort of block. I just chose gold, iron, and titanium, which titanium is a ore this mod. And you're going to place it down under the small plate presser, click the lever, and then it'll transform. You can also do this with iron, as well as titanium. Now, this next essential item you're going to want to create is called the electric arc furnace. And I will actually be building these today, so I can go over them and show you how to build it, so you might not have to do it in-game. I will also be going over the recipes as well. So let's just find it in here. And to go to different parts of the arc furnace, you just have to shift and scroll mouse wheel up. Or you can just show the whole thing at one time, but I prefer to do it one layer at a time. Now you will need a lot of heat-proof bricks, and to create these guys, you'll need bricks and magma cream, and you get 16. You also need the electric arc furnace itself, which will require nether brick, heat-proof brick, a user interface, and copper. Copper is another another core ore in this mod, and you can find it underground. And to craft the user interface, you need lime dye, redstone, glowstone, and a glass pane. To craft the item IO circuit board, you're going to need a diamond, redstone, gold powder, any sort of slab, and then an iron plate. Now, to create gold powder, you're going to have to crush gold ore in the small plate pressure that I just showed you guys. And to create the control circuit, you're going to need diamond, redstone, any sort of slab, an iron plate, as well as copper, which you can get by crushing copper ore in the small plate pressure. Alright, there we go. Now let's create this thing. Oops, sorry, let me just get a pickaxe real quick. Now keep in mind that the better items you use for the structure, the faster that the machine will go. Now this is fairly slow, which is why I recommend building multiple of them at the same time, and you might be able to even automate the process if you try. And so what you're going to have to do is, there are coils, which you're going to have to put in soon, and I'll just show you guys when it comes to it. Now go up again. Not all the structures will be this big in the mod, but this is the second biggest structure, I believe. Yep, and here are the coils. Now, titanium is obviously the best, not obviously, but copper is the worst, and it will go pretty slow, but if you put in titanium coils, it will go, pretty fast. But I just would rather use the other ones. Place these right here. Gonna need some power plugs, and I forgot the plugs, I'm so sorry guys. Creative ones automatically give infinite energy, but you will need your own source of energy if you plan on using regular power plugs. So you can get those, oh my goodness. And you can get the regular sources of energy if you basically use any mod that allows generators with RF. Now this machine will use quite a bit of RF, so that's why I recommend downloading multiple mods so that you might be able to automate the process. Now, I actually forgot this here, and then right click it, and then it is created. Now, to actually use this, you're going to need, there are multiple recipes, I just chose titanium and iridium, because you can combine these two. You have to put them in the input hatch, and then it will come out the output hatch. And then this is how you turn it on, just click it to turn it off, and click it to turn it on again. Now this will take some time, even though I put in the best resources that you can use. So let's just go into the other one. Now this is called the lathe, and it is used for making rods in the mod. Now to create this, you will need a lathe, the power input plug, machine structure, output hatch, input hatch, and a motor. Now to create a motor, you will need copper coil, steel plates, and steel rods. Now to create steel rods, you'll need steel ingots, or you can use a lathe. And to create the machine structure, you will need iron rods and iron plates, and then there's just 3 iron across like that. Output hatch, you'll need a machine structure, a chest. Then input hatch, you'll need a chest on top of the machine structure this time. And then yeah, let's get started. Then shift right click, and then you can click it again to change it. That simple. Place these to be down here. Power input plug. Output hatch. Scroll mouse wheel up. Input. Motor. And there are better motors. So like, there are enhanced, elite, and elite is obviously the best, but it requires iridium and titanium, which are the 2 most expensive motors in mod. So I wouldn't recommend using it. And then once you right click it, it changes to this. Now, to actually use this, you need to place it in the input hatch, and then right click the on button, and then it'll have this cool animation of it making the rod, and then it'll go down to the output hatch. There we go. However, we are going to turn this off for now. Is this done? Yep, it is done. So here are titanium, iridium, alloy ingots, which you will need to use for some crafting items in the mod. Alright, and this is the rolling machine. Now the rolling machine is used, I'm pretty sure it is used for creating, yeah, just certain items such as pressure tanks and iron sheets. Now pressure tanks are used for oxygen, which you will need to breathe in space, obviously. Now, to create the rolling machine, you will need 2 steel gears, user interface, blocks of iron, and then a control circuit board and an item circuit board. And then steel gears are created with steel rods, steel plates, and steel ingots. Now, to create these, you will need 3 steel across like that. And that is how it is for every rod. You'll just need that item, what it's made of. Now, liquid IO circuit board is a diamond, 2 redstone, 4 lapis, sorry, any sort of slab, and then an iron plate. Rolling machine is down here. Power input plug. I'm actually going to grab a creative input plug, so that way we won't have to power it. And then fluid hatch, machine structure. Also, if you do get the recipe wrong for creating this and you right click the block, it actually won't make the machine as expected. And instead, it will show you where you got it wrong. So, for instance, like, if I place this, let me just place this here instead, and then grab the blowing machine and put it here. It'll actually tell me that I'm supposed to place something right here. So that's really handy. Boom, there we go. And now this one's actually a bit more complicated than the last, but it should not take too long to figure out. You actually need to put in the input hatch iron, and then if I can find the, there we go, fluid hatch, and then hit the on button, it will start creating iron plates. Now this is a more better way of creating iron plates. Not better, but it does allow you to create more things than the plate presser. It's a bit of an automated version of the plate presser. However, we're going to turn this off for now to prevent lag. Now the next one we're going to create is the crystallization machine. Crystallizer, I just call it that because I like to. And this will produce things like silicone, and it will also create other things too. So what you're going to need for this one is going to need 2 titanium coils, power input plug, output hatch, crystallizer, input hatch, and 6 quartz crucibles. Now to create quartz crucibles, you're going to need nether quartz around a cauldron, which is all just iron. And then the Crystallizer, you're going to need nether quartz, user interface, item IO circuit board, control circuit board, a machine structure, steel plate, and redstone repeater. I already showed y'all how to make that, so I won't be going over it again. Output hatch, gonna move the input hatch, Crystallizer. I'm pretty sure that this doesn't, and then these just go on top like this, and then just right click it when you're done, and boom. Now, despite having 3 of these things, it can only make 1 recipe at a time, but it is fairly fast. I guess, yeah, here's silicone bowl, but we will turn that off too once again, prevent lag. This is a saw cutter, and as you might imagine, it cuts things with its saw. Yeah, and you can use it on wood, but you can use it for other things like advanced circuit plates and cut it into smaller circuits. Now let's just go to the... Oh, I must have missed it. Animation, oh, it's the first one on the board. So you will need a motor and a saw blade assembly, which will be an iron rod, iron saw blade, which is iron rods around a plate, and then more iron plates. Place that down, place the motor down, and then place the power input plugs. Place the input hatch, output hatch, and then cutting machine. Boom, there we go, it's done. Now this one is also fast, well, depending on what type of item you use. So it is very fast for wood. And for advanced circuits, it is a bit slower, but nonetheless, it does work and cut it into different circuits. We'll turn that off too, for lag. Moving on to the next one. This is probably the biggest out of like these machines, and it is called the precision assembly machine, and it requires quite a bit, and you can use it for more like complex tasks to create. So you're going to need machine structure, output hatch, 2 output hatches, 1 output hatch, 1 fluid output hatch, 1 fluid input hatch, 1 input hatch, and then 1 input hatch, 2 motors, 2 titanium coils, precision assembler, which you'll need a user interface, a diamond, redstone repeater, item IO circuit board, control circuit board, a machine structure, steel gear, furnace, and then a dropper. And then you don't have to like put like all like input hatches around these. I just prefer to like put 2 on this side of power. We don't really need to do that, but I just like to do that anyways. Precision assembler, fluid input hatch, fluid output hatch, fluid output hatch, and then output hatch. And then in here, you're going to need to put some coils. I'll put the titanium ones to make it speed up a bit faster. The motors, and then you're going to cover this in glass. You will need a bit of machine structure for this, so you might just need to create a bit more than that of what you usually would, but other than that, it's not an issue. Boom. 3 extra. And then this is, like I said, you will need more items to craft for this. So you just put these in the input slot, and it'll create it with a nice neat animation. And I just crafted a anti-fall visor, which is we'll get onto that later. And now this one is the Electrolyzer, which basically turns water into hydrogen and oxygen. And you'll need those 2 in the future that I will show you guys. Now let's just go ahead and do this. You'll need fluid output hatch, another fluid output hatch, the electrolyzer itself. Oh, wait. Forgot to show you guys how to craft it, sorry. You'll need 2 steel plates, user interface, control circuit board, liquid IO circuit board, machine structure, redstone torch, and basic circuit. Now to craft this, you're going to need a basic circuit plate, and then use the cutting machine, and then there you go. Now you're going to need 2 machine structure. Going to need to place the electrolyzer right here. Then you're going to need fluid output hatch right there. Coil, and then you're going to need 2 plugs. Boom, there we go. Now all you have to do is just place it right in... Oh, in the back. You have to place it in the back. Turn it on, and then an animation will start playing of like this electric thing. And then it'll separate into hydrogen, and then oxygen. However, I have it in these tanks, and I have it set up to automate where it takes it out of these tanks. And these pipes, by the way, are from the Ender IO mod, and you can automate this by basically using any sort of pipe that allows extraction of fluids from any sort of mod. And I put it in here because this machine, the chemical reactor, takes hydrogen and oxygen and combines it into rocket fuel. Now, to craft this, you will need chemical reactor, which is going to be 2 gold plates, a control circuit board, a item IO circuit board, machine structure user interface, basic circuits, and liquid IO circuit board. Let's go ahead and craft this. Not craft, but yeah. Motor. Oh, almost forgot a motor. Sorry, guys. Boom, place that down. 2 power input plugs. Fluid output hatch. Make sure you place the fluid one. Then output hatch. Then you will need a machine structure shift. Mouse wheel up. Place the actual chemical reactor itself. Fluid input hatch. 2 fluid input hatches. And then a input hatch. Boom. Now click the on button and it will begin making the rocket fuel. It will do it rather slowly, and you'll need about 5,000 millibuckets to fill up an entire tank of a actual rocket. So you're just gonna have to let this sit for a while. However, I could just spawn in some from creative for the sake of the mod showcase. Now we are done with that, and you'll need to use all of these to actually build the actual rocket. Now, for the sake of time and this mod showcase, I will be building the most simple rocket that you could possibly make in this mod. And you'll need a guidance computer, liquid fuel tank, a seat, whatever building block you need, however I'll just use glass, a linker, and a planet ID chip. Now, to make the actual launch pad, you will need a launch pad itself, which is concrete, black dye, and dandelion yellow. Now, you're gonna have to do a 5x5 is the smallest landing pad you can make, and you'll need a structure tower, which is just steel rods, and there has to be 1 structure tower block below on the same height as the launch pad, or else it won't work. Invalid launch pad structure. Rocket unscanned. And that's all you have to do. But you'll also need to place a rocket assembling machine, which is 2 titanium rods, 2 control circuit boards, 2 titanium gears, to create this titanium plates, titanium rods. And then concrete machine structure, and then that is it. And to actually be able to, well, hold on, let's just go over this first. This won't take too long. Dang it, alright. Now, there are 2 different types of engines. Now, there's a liquid-fueled engine and an advanced rocket engine. These are technically the same, except the advanced rocket engine starts up faster and flies a lot faster, but it uses more fuel than the regular rocket engine. The only difference is this is using titanium aluminide ingots and titanium iridium, and this is just steel and then titanium. So we're going to place this down in a 3x3. Place the rocket engines like this, and this doesn't have to be what the rocket is. You can make a enormous rocket, and you can make it a lot prettier. I have to, but I'm not going to build it, because it would take me more than enough time that I have here. And then you will need to place down a seat and a guidance computer. To create the guidance computer, you're going to need tracking circuits, redstone, machine structure, and titanium plate. Now, the tracking circuit, you'll need to put it in the precision assembler. For redstone, I have ender, and then basic circuit plate. Now, you have to have this, or else the computer will say that it is, once you scan it, and this little animation will come down to make sure all the rocket has the necessary components, it will say missing guidance computer, and it won't let you build it. So then you will need to place that down. I'll just put some glass. You don't need to put glass, but I feel like I just like to look outside the rocket once I'm flying in it. And boom, there we go. And you will scan it. This shouldn't take too long, but depending on the size of the launch pad, it will it could take about 5 minutes, depending on the size. Then clear for liftoff, so we'll just build it, and then it finalizes it, so you can't break it anymore, and it's actually all one block now. And to fuel it, you will need to create a fueling station, and to create this, you will need to use your interface, machine structure, steel fan, liquid I/O circuit board, and then tin plates. Oh, and to create the fan, you need steel plates and a steel rod. Now, keep in mind that you cannot launch a rocket without fuel, obviously, and it won't let you build it without a launch, and without a rocket fueler. Now, to actually put fuel in your rocket, you will need a linker, and a linker is gold, iron, and redstone, one of the simplest crafting recipes in the mod. Now, what you need to do is, after there is fuel inside it, you'll need to shift right-click on the fueler, and then shift right-click on the rocket, and then you will see this little line right here connecting it. And then right-click to get inside the rocket, and then to the bottom left of the screen, there is a bar called fuel, and you can see it slowly rising. Now, pressing space to take off, obviously there's no destination, so you will have to shift, right-click, and click on the guidance computer. Now, you will need a planet ID chip for this to work, so put that in there. And then, schematic is actually broken for me, so you will shift, right-click, select destination, and then there is only one planet in the mod at this point, which you will click on Luna, which is the moon. Select, and then destination, Luna, coords, question mark, so on. Now, obviously, to survive in space, you need a spacesuit, and to do that, you will craft a... you'll need iron plates, iron rods, glass, and red wool. Wool, or just wool in general. Wool, iron rod, liquid fuel tank, and steel fan. To craft this, you need steel rods, steel plates, and then that is it. You'll need wool, iron rods, iron plates, and then wool. Now, to actually put oxygen in it, you will need to craft the suit workstation, and that is a crafting table plus a machine structure. Now, you need to put the spacesuit chest piece. This is for putting modules in your, suits, and those are, like, certain abilities you can have, like jump higher, you can glide, etc. Now, there are different types of pressure tanks, but we will be using the super high pressure tank for the maximum amount of oxygen capacity. The lowest one you can craft is 2 iron sheets, water, and create this in the rolling machine to create it. 2 steel sheets for water to create the pressure tank, 2 aluminum sheets, water to create the high pressure tank, and then 2 titanium sheets and water to create a super high pressure tank. You'll need to place it in the first 2 slots, drag it out, and then put it on your body. Now, it has the same defense as about iron armor, or a bit worse than iron armor. And all you need to do to fill it up is to craft something called a gas charge pad. Now, to craft this, you will need 2 steel fans, a user interface, machine structure, liquid fuel tank, steel plate, and a weighted pressure plate heavy, which is 2 iron ingots. And now, once you have filled it up with oxygen, you can connect it using a pipe through the bottom. I have used the Ender IO storage tank, as you can see here. And it does use quite a bit of oxygen, about 16,000 millibuckets. So all you need to do to fill it up is to stand on top of it, and then it'll fill it up. And then you have about... This armor doesn't have a lot of durability, by the way, so you might want to be careful when battling mobs with it on. I would recommend taking it off, putting on actual armor. And you will start to suffocate, as well as get nausea, slowness, and weakness, as well as mining fatigue if you take off the suit once you're in space. Now, before we go into actual space, I'm gonna have to show you guys something as well. This is satellites, and as well as creating an unmanned rocket. So to create a satellite, you'll need a few different ingredients, and satellites can be used to map ore along planets, terraform planets, which is basically making planets habitable for yourself, and creating data for asteroid mining missions. However, today we will only be going over how to create a biome changer satellite. Now, you'll need you only really need 1, but for maximum power storage and maximum power generation, I will use 3 large solar panels and 2 small batteries. You'll also need a biome changer remote, and a satellite empty chassis. Now, to create this, you need 6 aluminum sheets, 2 titanium rods, and a control circuit board, as well as a biome changer remote, which you need a user interface, advanced circuit, small battery, tracking circuit, and a tin plate. And then you will need to put this in precision assembler, and then you'll get it. For the biome changer, you need 2 silicone wafers, an advanced and an advanced circuit, which will create you the biome changer. Large solar panels, you need 6 basic ones. And to craft the basic one, you need redstone, 3 redstone, 3 glowstone, and 3 gold plates. Now you also need, to create 2 times small battery, you need 4 small batteries and then 2 copper plates. To make small batteries, you need 1 iron rod, 4 tin plates, and then 2 redstone. Now you will also need to craft a satellite builder, which it says it's a multi-block machine, but it's really not. You just need to place a plug under it, and then it'll build it. To create this, you need a lot of stuff. You need a saw blade assembly, an anvil, which is 3 iron blocks, and then 4 iron. And you will also need any sort of motor, 2 basic circuits, which you need a basic circuit plate, a data storage unit, which is an emerald basic circuit and then redstone for the precision assembler, a hopper, and then a titanium plate. And when you right click, you get a bunch of menus. Now, once this is powered, you can place in your satellite empty chassis. Your biome changer remote goes in here. The biome changer also goes in here. The biome changer goes in here, and then the solar panels go over here, as well as the small batteries. Now hit build, and then it'll take a bit. And then you get the satellite. Now it has power storage 1200, power generation 30, which is from the 3 solar panels, and then 1200 from the 3 batteries. Now we're going to take that and take the biome changer remote. Do not lose this remote, as you will have no way of accessing your satellite if you do lose it. Now it says here that the satellite is not yet launched, and the ID is 13 planets unknown, and the satellite is a biome changer version. Now I will take this off to preserve the oxygen in the suit. Alright, now we're going to create an unmanned rocket, which you'll need a different item to craft it, which is the rocket monitoring station. To create this, you'll need 6 copper rods, small battery, machine structure, and an optical sensor. Alright, so let's build this thing. So it's going to be built just like every other rocket, which you'll need a liquid or an advanced engine, 2 fuel tanks. Now the maximum amount of fuel tanks, not maximum, minimum you're allowed to have is, I'm pretty sure it is 18, so this is 18 right here. And if you have any less, it'll tell you in the computer that you will need more. Now we're going to go ahead and place down the glass. And then we will place the satellite bay and guidance computer. Now to craft a satellite bay, oh my gosh, sorry guys, you will need titanium rods and a machine structure. Now to launch a satellite, you're going to have to right click this and put the satellite of your choosing in it. And then it will go up and then come back down. Now for the guidance computer, you're going to need another planet ID chip. And then we're going to have to build the rocket to continue. And then you're going to have to scan it. And then it'll check for all the necessary assets. If you're good to go, just clear for lift off and then build. And the textures do change slightly, by the way, when the rocket and then once the rocket's built, the textures will change to signify that it is built. And you can also shift right-click the rocket from outside. You can access the satellite bay, which has your satellite in it, and then the guidance computer, which has the ID chip in it. Now, to make it orbit a certain planet, you're going to want to have the planet ID in there, so we're gonna have to make a lunar chip. Now, we're gonna actually launch this later. We're gonna launch this one first to get the lunar chip. And we're also gonna need another linker to fuel this rocket. So once again, shift, right click, and then it'll start filling it up. And then shift, right click with this block, and then shift, right click again so it can match the assets. And then once you're ready, click launch, and it will take a few seconds for it to signify that it has launched, and then it'll go up in the air. Alright, I think we are ready to go into space. Down this one more time. And press space to take off. Destination Luna. And it'll launch in T-minus 10 seconds. And then you can press space to abort if you change your mind last second. And it is a bit glitchy, seeing as you start to sink through the floor. But it does function, so that is not an issue. You'll teleport to the planet. You can press space to descend. However, we'll start glitching and teleport you back up to the atmosphere, the start of the altitude. Just wait a few seconds and it'll start just bringing you down. There we go. Like I said, the advanced rocket engine is a lot more glitchy than the normal one. And here we are on the moon. Now, the gravity here is decreased, and if you do take off your helmet, you will start to take damage. And it says, warning, no oxygen detected, but if you put it back on, you'll be safe. You get mining fatigue, slowness, and nausea too, which obviously nobody likes. Okay, gonna get some milk, so I can get rid of this awful effect. Now, there is not, the launch pad won't spawn on the moon for you to land on. I just built this ahead of time. I also built this, which is the largest structure in the entire mod, also the most expensive. Now, this is a atmosphere terraformer, and to use it, you'll need oxygen and nitrogen, heavy supplies, a heavy supply of it. Now, you'll need to put in the biome changer remote once the satellite is launched. However, the satellite is not launched yet. It will also use a heck ton of RF, and I will not build it in the video, as you are able to build it right here, atmosphere terraformer. I used 16 tanks of nitrogen and oxygen to fuel this. So let's go ahead and go back. Get another planet ID chip. Let's take this one out. Put this one in. Select destination. The Earth. And then we can go in. Now, we do have a bit of fuel left, but it may not be enough to make the journey back. Well, no, it is. But if you're on Earth and you have this much, your rocket will fall out of the sky if it runs out of fuel, which will not be good. So you do not want that. Now we are going back to Earth. You'll sink through the floor again. However, that is not to worry. So press load, then all those descend. Now again, it will start glitching, so we're just gonna have to wait a bit for that to happen. And then once you have a planet ID chip with the planet name of Luna, you can launch it. And whatever planet you have on this chip, the satellite will orbit that planet. And then that is a planet that this biome changer remote is linked to. And then that is a planet you can use the satellite on. However, first, actually no, not first, we're gonna have to launch this first. Sorry. Guidance computer. Place this in here. Now it's set for Luna. Make sure it's ready to go. Fuel level looks okay. Satellite bay is good. Guidance computer is okay. And then we can hit the launch button. Now it will take a few seconds for it to get started, for it to register. There we go. And then it is off, and now we will wait a few seconds for it to register with the remote. Sometimes you might have to log back out and log back in for the remote to register. Oh, and there is also a game-breaking glitch with the gas charge pad, where if you shift right-click any sort of item into it, it will crash your game. So do not do that. I learned that the hard way. Planet name is Luna, and what it will connect once you get to the planet of Luna. And it says scan biome, and what you need to do is go to any sort of biome that you want to terraform on that planet. Right now we are in the plains biome. Shift right click scan biome, and then it'll put it in its repository. And we'll just go to fly to a couple different biomes, such as the swamp. I'm pretty sure this is swampland. No, it's still plains. Here's swampland. Close enough. Alright, there, and let's go get one more. And then a forest. Alright, we are good to go. Let's get back on our rocket. Wait, we need to fuel it up first, or else we will not make the journey back home. And that is not good. Now, occasionally, you will have to take the buckets back out in order to fuel it up with the rocket. So, unfortunately, the process isn't automated, but you guys might find out some way how to. You guys might find out how to do that somewhere. So let's just wait. Select destination. Luna, select. After this, we will be going over how to create your own space station and how to connect more modules to it, as well as what you can add to the space station. Alright, that should be good enough. Have suit on, yep. I have. Alright, and here we go. This mod also changes the shape of the Minecraft moon into a circular shape, and it makes it more detailed as well. Alright, so press space to descend. Now, I'm pretty sure the mod creators aren't working on this mod anymore, so unfortunately these glitches won't be fixed. However, in the config files, there might be some options you can switch. I saw them, some options, and you might be able to switch those and make them... It might be able to fix all this. Alright, here we go. And boom. The heck? Still the moon. Huh. Alright, now by default the biome... Oh, it's because the satellite is here, and this is what happened. Okay, I get it. I think I accidentally right-clicked the remote, so... By default, all biomes are set to ocean, so just click on one of the ones you scanned. I'm gonna go with plains. Now, it's fully charged up, and every block that it transforms requires 20 RF to transform it. So I recommend using a lot of powers and solar panels. And after you transform it, a really cool animation will start to play. Right here. Oh, okay. So I actually covered this area up because of testing with this item. So that's probably why, because they're already all transformed. Right here. There we go. And this is a really cool animation, but it does make my frame rates drop a bit. And it will change the biome name. Instead of moon, it will change it to plains. However, this does not change the atmosphere, so you will not be able to breathe on this. Change it to plains, and once you go back to the moon area, change it to the moon. However, it will change the blocks. forest. And then you can see it using the power, and once change it to swampland. Here is forest, swampland. And it does not place any water down, so you might have to do that yourself, but this is a good way of transforming it. And keep in mind that the satellite on the planet is the only planet that you can transform, unless you have multiple satellites on multiple different planets. So now we are in the swampland, in the forest. Now we are in the plains. Alright. So now the atmospheric transformer obviously changes the atmosphere into making it a habitable planet. I'm pretty sure this is a one-time use only, so be careful with what you do with this. Now once it's connected, place this in here. It's not running. To increase the ATM, anywhere between 0.25 and 2.0 is habitable and you can breathe. Anything above that is not habitable and you will die. And so you will turn it on. Oh, yeah. It says, okay. On the wiki, it says that you will have to wait about 14 minutes to do this. So I will just come back to that later and show you guys. Alright, yeah. I think it also needs a redstone signal, and I might have messed something. Alright, no. Alright, so I'll be back to you guys in 14 minutes. Alright guys, I just got back from the lunar moon, and I just figured out that the Terraformer machine does not work, unfortunately. I went into the config files, and I got the animation to play, but unfortunately, it does not work, and on the website it said that it does not work, so yeah. It also took up way too much fuel. I think it required 750 buckets to run for 1 minute, as well as 8 million RF to run for another minute. So that's not happening, but I will show you how to create your own space station. So what you will need is you're going to need some building materials, as well as a satellite and a space station ID chip. Place that in here, and then place this ID chip right here. To craft that, you're going to need a linker, a basic circuit, and to craft basic circuit plate, you're going to need gold, redstone, and silicone wafer. To craft that, you're going to need silicone boule, put it in cutting machine, there you go. And then you can really just create this out of anything, like... I'm gonna use the staff I got from another mod. And then, yeah, that's basically it. Just hit build. Oh, crap. Forgot. It's not a satellite, it's a satellite bay, and then you can build it. And then it'll take all the items, and then gonna wait for it to build. It'll package it, you can put it in a rocket, fly it up to space, and then it'll just create it. And then you can go to it with, by putting the space station ID in your rocket. However, one thing to note is that you should never, under any circumstance, lose the ID chip, as if you do, there is no way to get back to your space station. So you have to keep this, and take this. Also, the launch pad I use for that is 11 by 11, and that is a pretty good starting point for a space station, but you can make it bigger if you want, of course. Now, you need to create the rocket like I showed you guys earlier in this video. Put the sat bay in the space station. Put the space station candidate in the satellite bay. Close it up. I'm gonna want to scan it. Gonna have to link it to get fuel again. Gonna build it. And then it is now good to be linked to both of them. There we go. I already got a rocket set up off camera. And there are some things up there as well as I want to show you. So what you're going to have to do is in the guidance computer, you're going to place the ID of the space station, but I already have a pre-built space station that I use. However, just put this one that you created in here and it'll take you to that station. But you have to wait for this to fly up first in order to create the station, and then you can launch yourself up there. Alright, let's wait for it to fill up halfway, then that should be more than enough to try to get up there. Boom. And then up there you can create certain things like an orbital laser drill, a warp core, just a bunch of fun things. You can create your own kind of living area. You can make it breathable. And you can jump really high, but you could change that to where you can jump just like a normal Minecraft player, so. I will show you guys first that you can go to the station. You need to build this as well. Yeah, I do need to build it as well. God dang it. That to be completed. Boom, do that. And there. Alright, that should be good right now. Wait about 45 seconds. Wait for it to fill up. See, it says Station 4. And then you can just press the space bar. Alright, that should be enough fuel. Now, the space station will hover above the Earth, and you can create multiple if you want to, but I prefer just to have one. And of course, I will sink through the floor again. Space to descend. Of course, it will start to glitch out. But just wait a bit and that will go away. And then you'll just bring, and then you'll go down to your newly created space station. Hopefully it won't take too long. Alright, there we go. There we go. And here's the station we created. And now we can, and it'll automatically take you back to Earth. It'll automatically set the course back to Earth. So that's pretty handy. However, I want to go to the space station that I created beforehand. And I'll show you guys all the different things that I built so I can show you. As you can see, it uses a lot less fuel when you're in orbit. I apologize for the technical inconvenience, guys. Like I said, this mod is not finished. But I managed to fix it, and I am here now. So, the first thing that I'm going to show you guys is the Orbital Laser Drill. And this basically mines items and ores from the planet you are facing. So, once it is available to be built. I'm pretty sure it's all the way at the bottom. Yeah, Orbital Laser Drill right here. And once you build it, it has to, actually, before you build it, it has to be facing the planet. The bottom has to be facing the planet that you're mining from, or else it will not work. And you need a lens in this spot, a single in this spot, and you can just set random coordinates. So I'm just going to set 20, 48 to 20, 48. Boom. And it requires a redstone activation. And these will start to fill up and jam. And when that happens, you press the reset button, but take them all out first, and then it'll start back up again. I recommend automating it using some sort of pipe and then a chest. I chose a chest from Draconic Editions because it is a very freakishly large chest. So, and it will start filling back up. And as you can see, the chest starts filling up. It is super fast, so I recommend having multiple chests in store, and diamond ore is pretty common, so this is a good way to use it. And it will actually do damage to the earth, and by that, I mean you can actually go down and see, what kind of, like, pattern it made in the earth, because it was obviously mining, so. Yeah, I already have a stack of diamonds, and it's not even been in a minute and a half yet. So that is really cool. And the next thing I want to show you guys is the orientation controller. Now this controls what way the the space station is like facing. So if I just change it this way, it will start to turn the spaceship. And if you want, you can just completely change it to go just like turn completely around. However, this will affect the mining drill, so right now it won't mine anything due to the fact that it is not facing the planet anymore. It is just facing completely down. So be mindful of that. And the artificial gravity controller. Let's put this back. Now this will change how high you can jump. Now right now you can jump pretty high. You can jump above the building. So now if you change it all the way down, it will take a bit of time to like go down, but so let's just wait. Yeah, let's just wait. As you can see, you will start to be able to jump less and less. So let's just go on to the next one while we're waiting. Now the altitude is how far away it like is from the planet. So if I change it all the way up, it will start to get further and further away, as you can see. Now this is the warp controller. Now this is a bit complicated. You need to build the warp drive over here. You can also find this in a hollow projector. And you will not need to worry about these for now, as these are mainly for servers. Now, to select a planet to select a planet, just go to the planet list. And let's just go select this one. Crap. Let's just select that one. And then we'll go to Sol 9. Then we can warp, but it will cost fuel, and the further away it is, the more fuel it will cost. Now, once you build the warp drive, you need to input dilithium crystals through the top. And it will generate quite a bit of fuel for each one you enter. The max is 1,000. Let's just warp there. And you can see that we are currently warping to the destination. Now, depending on how far it is away, it will take a bit of time. Here we go. Alright, here we are. Here's Sol 9. The last thing I have to show you guys is the CO2 scrubbers in the oxygen vent. Now, in here, you are able to breathe. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, my lord. Okay, turn them on first. God. And they actually do make noise. Now you are able to breathe. See? And you actually only need the oxygen vent to be able to use it. You just need power and then oxygen through a pipe. However, the CO2 scrubbers will improve the efficiency of the oxygen vent and make it use less oxygen per tick. It needs a carbon collection cartridge as well, which is iron bars, iron sheets, and yeah, just that's it. Now, for the oxygen vent, you need iron bars, any sort of motor, a liquid fuel tank, and a steel fan. And for the CO2 scrubbers, you need iron bars, enhanced motor, carbon brick, which is just charcoal, 6 charcoal, and a steel fan. However, since this room is only airtight, when you have airtight doors, once you open them, you will take damage. But once you close them, then you will stop taking damage. Or just once you approach the doors. Alright, that concludes the mod. Now, I do apologize, guys, about, well, what happened during the video and all the mistakes that happened and all the technical errors and bugs, but this mod is not finished, and yeah. Oh, look, the gravity is normal now. This mod is not finished by any means, so there are a lot of bugs, but it still nonetheless is a fun mod, and you guys should check it out. It will be in the link of the description of the video. And if you did enjoy this video, please consider subscribing. It is completely free. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.